So this session is gonna wrap up a little bit what we've been doing and discussing during the data modeling days. I'm gonna be here with my colleagues Lydia and Daria, and of course with all 41 of you. Thanks a lot for following us through the whole event. Um, so before we start, the first thing that I wanted to ask you to reflect on a little bit is what were your highlights of the event, like your personal highlights, like what caught your attention, what you discovered that you didn't know during the event, what are interesting discussions you attended, what if you got anything done, like maybe you made some edits, you created some entity schemas, you run some discussions also. Let us know, and generally what inspired you during the event. And you can answer all of this in the chat or directly to the Etherpad if you prefer, but we will copy the answers from the chat to the Etherpad later anyway. So yeah, feel free to let us know by writing a little comment in the chat what you took away from this event. So I'm going to read the first comments and then we'll move on while you keep writing. So I see learn more about the power of QLever. That's really cool. That was indeed a really interesting session. Hope that there will be efforts to improve the Wikidata ontology. I believe we're all interested and committed in doing this. Always nice to see what others are up to, absolutely. Sometimes we're working in our little bubble, and it's always nice to see the progress or questions that others are having, because sometimes it's even the same as what we're having. All right, so you can keep writing your thoughts in the chat. In the meantime, I wanted to thank all of you for following this event, whether you're following it live or in replay later, watching the videos. I want to give a special thanks, of course, to all of the speakers who contributed to the content of this event. They are more than 25 speakers, and we had around 25 sessions during 3 days. That's pretty impressive. So thanks to all of you for putting time and dedication in preparing your presentation, preparing your slides, and sharing all of this with us. Also, big thanks to everyone who helped with the facilitation, whether it was taking notes, answering questions, maybe pasting links, sharing tools, and generally, and as usual, I can't say it's a surprise because the Wikidata community is awesome, but as usual, you've been particularly helpful with each other, answering questions, and yeah, helping other gain new skills or discover new cool tools. Thank you also to people who've been running satellite events. A few days before the event, we had Wikidata Labs, for example. We had LD4 discussion. We had a meetup with the Indonesian community. And speaking of Indonesian community, Rima is actually running some more sessions tomorrow, at least tomorrow for me. You can see this in the schedule of day 3, but I will come back to this in a minute. And yeah, thanks for your enthusiasm, and thanks for all of the very interesting discussions that we had around data modeling, and for your commitment in always improving Wikidata and trying to find new ways to describe the world in a better way. So let's talk a little bit about documentation. So we have 3 types of things for almost each session. So we have the slides, presentation of the speakers, we have some video recordings, and we have the notes. And you will be able to find all of this on the main page of the event in front of each program item. It's gonna come step by step, a few days after the event. Some videos and notes are actually already there. Some slides are also there, thanks to the speakers who uploaded them in advance. And in the upcoming week, I hope that we're going to have everything together, which is going to allow you to maybe catch up on the sessions that you missed, or simply to other people to discover what we talked about. And I hope that especially the video recordings can be helpful to onboard more people in the discussions that we had during the event. As for the speakers among you, if you didn't upload your slides yet, please upload the file in PDF onto Wikimedia Commons in the right category. If you're scared of editing the big table that is the schedule, it's fine. As long as you put them in a category, I will find them and I will put them there. Please don't wait too much, as everyone is eager to go through your content again. And we also have an outcomes page that you can find in the menu from the main event page. And here you can write down also what you've been working on during the event, or maybe link to some discussions that were started. I know that some discussions were started on the project chat or on some wiki project talk pages. So it's going to be very useful for us to see a little bit what are the practical outcomes that that are getting out of this event, basically. Speaking of outcomes, I asked my colleagues to summarize a little bit what were their own highlights of the events. So I'm going to give the mic to Lydia to talk a little bit about what we're taking away from this event.
Yes, so much. It's been great. Thank you, everyone, as Leah said, for joining and making this event happen. It's been great. So in particular, I hope that many of you got a chance to dive into entity schemas, make them a bit less scary, and get an understanding of how useful they could be in the future for Wikidata. It also seems that the data modeling clinics seems to have worked well, while still being a tiny bit too advanced for beginners, which we also wanted them to be useful for, but we will tweak that. Next slide, please, Leah. Then in those clinics and in other discussions, it was really cool to actually get to resolving some issues and connecting people for future amazing projects. And if you have ideas for how we can facilitate this in the future, please let us know either in the chat or offline in some other way, because we believe this is really, really helpful. It was also really cool to get more insights around important topics like autofix, how we can help people see the bigger picture when they make edits in Wikidata, how we can move automated list generation forwards, and so much more. So there's more to discuss, but I think we've made good progress. And last but not least, important thing we learned from GeoGuessr, especially last night, we need a lot more content for the game for New Zealand specifically. So collectively, let's get on it and put New Zealand on the map by adding some more geocoordinates and images to all the relevant items in New Zealand, so they show up in our geoguessing. Next slide, please. So what are we going to do next? I think we all need some time to digest 3 days of really brain-breaking content and really understand what to learn from all of this. And then I hope we can keep these discussions going, be it on the project chat, on wiki projects, in chat rooms on Telegram, and at future events. And figure out how we can continue to explore ways how to help prevent some of the issues you've been talking about for the last 3 days. I hope we can get together to write some more entity schemas for topics you care about. And last but not least, we have to figure out what the next Wikidata XXX days are going to be about. So if you have ideas, wishes, this is what we need to discuss. Let Leah and me know, and we can see if we can make it happen. What
Thank
else
you,
do we
Lydia.
have?
Yes, absolutely. We are building these events for you and to give you a space to discuss and to fix some issues and to move forward on some topics. So, really, if you see something that could be helpful, let us know. All right. And now that we are concluding this event, how to keep the discussion going and how to move forward with the topics that we discussed. We have a few suggestions, and our main suggestion is basically to bring this discussion on Wiki, because as you know, what happened away from Wiki sometimes is not necessarily translated to community discussions and decisions later. So it's important that we continue these discussions on the community platform. And as we already identified, the best place for that are the wiki projects. So you can either join wiki projects on your topics of interest, on your topics that you're working on, or some more generic wiki project about data quality, ontology, and wiki project schema. And I also wanted to mention that, yes, it is true that sometimes these wiki projects look a little bit abandoned. There are no messages since 2015. But maybe with a few people, you could also help reviving it and bringing back people into the discussion on the wiki projects. And for some of them, there are also some Telegram groups, for example, for the wiki project ontology and schema. You will find all the links on the page of the Data Modeling Days. All right, and finally, if you want, stay online for a little bit more because we're not completely done yet. We're still having 2 sessions after this one. First of all, we're gonna have our Wikidata live editing by Jan Ainali and Abe, who are gonna talk about modeling occupation and employment and entity schemas. So don't miss it. I think they're gonna start at 19 UTC, which is in basically 40 minutes. And it's not going to take place in this Jitsi room. It's going to take place on their YouTube channel. So you can follow it there. And you can also add your comments and discussion to their live chat so they can integrate it into their discussions. And finally, after that, you can come back to this room and we're going to have one last round of games. If you didn't follow the previous ones, this is your chance because it's really fun. And we hope that this time we're going to find more pictures about New Zealand. So join us for the last social time and games. And finally, we kept the schedule open for tomorrow. This is an open and self-organized schedule. So it means that if you want to have one extra session, typically it could be live editing, working on entity schema, working on anything that we discussed during the event, you can go to the program page and add your session yourself into the schedule. Please note that this is not going to be facilitated. You can use this Jitsi room and we will also not provide any video recording. So this is more like an extra space in case you feel like you need to work a little bit more together on some things. That's it, I believe. Thanks again to all of you for following through this event. Thank for your support and see you very soon on various Wikidata channels. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Leah, for rocking this. And see you soon on the Wikidata live editing, and then hopefully for some social time.
Bye bye.